What's up, guys? On today's video we've got another Space Marine 2 video for you. Today we are talking about the Bulwark and this crazy AoE build doing an absolute ton of damage with it. It's really fun to play and I really like it too because it doesn't rely on Invigorating Icon, which is the heal perk. So we're going to talk about all the perks in this build. Let's get into it. So to start us off, let's talk a little bit about the chapter banner itself. In patch 6.0, they increased starting health to 30%, which is nice. And then the banner regenerates armor. Now, a couple of stats for you about the banner itself. In case you didn't know, the banner lasts for 20 seconds by default, and it has a 1 minute and 45-second cooldown. Now, that cooldown starts instantly, so your banner uptime really between using the banner and when you can use it again and get those effects again really equates to about 1 minute and 25 seconds because you have 20 seconds of the banner and it is recharging as it is up. So that's very nice to have. So let's get into it. First off, on our core column here, we're going to be using Intimidating Aura. This is insanely good since they buffed it in patch 6.0. It is a perfectly timed parry, deals an area of effect damage within a 5-meter radius. Cooldown is 5 seconds. Now, it didn't used to have a cooldown, but it also did not scale with difficulty. Now it scales with difficulty, and the cooldown is added so that it's not going to be spammable. Well, even with a 5-second cooldown, to be honest, it goes off all the time. 5 seconds is not that long, especially in melee. So this perk is so powerful that on lethal and absolute, when you parry into gun strike, that puts a Majoris into execute from fresh, and you can see here in the video I've got some examples of that. So really strong perk. These other two are nice, they just don't compare. 30% extra melee damage for 10 seconds after shield bash. I've tried this, and unfortunately having to shield bash before you do this really can kill your momentum if you're moving into combat or running. It really kind of kills your momentum of what you're trying to do. So, and this is just so good. It does so much damage. Really amazing perk here. Then, since we're going to be parrying a lot, also note this does not work with block weapons. Only balanced and fencing. It has to be a perfectly timed parry, not a perfectly timed block. I have tested this, which is fine because we're going to be using a fencing weapon anyway, because we're going to be doing lots of parrying, which brings us to our next perk, which synergizes with the following perk. These two go hand in hand, shock and awe. Enemies in a shock area take 25% more damage. Now, something to note, unless the wording on this is incorrect, which, you know, it could be, they have been known to make mistakes in the wording before. But based on the wording, it is not just that they take 25% more damage from the shock area. They just take 25% more damage. So the shock area is dealing 25% more damage. And if you are hitting them in the, it's essentially a debuff. So if you're hitting them within the shock area, they are also going to be still taking an additional 25% damage from you. So really good perk here. And it pairs obviously very well with defensive advantage. A perfectly timed parry or block creates a shock area for 5 seconds. Cooldown is 30 seconds. This feeds into the theme of this build, which is lots of AoE. Lots of AoE damage. And so you can see how well these two work together here. The other perks in these are just not really that great. The damage from this is very negligible, and scramble targeting is nice, but honestly, we have a shield, so you know, it's nice to have, but these two combined together is much better. A lot of people do like armor reinforcement. However, I don't have an issue with keeping my armor up. And so that's why I want that shock area. Moving on to our team perk, We're going to go with advanced conditioning. It's just significantly better than both of these as well. Contested health fades 50% more slowly. That means if you do suddenly take a big chunk of health damage, which you're going to on absolute for sure, everything does a lot of damage. It's going to give you more opportunities to get that back through attacking, right? Focus restoration, they did update this in patch 6.0, but it's 40 seconds is forever to restore one armor segment. Like, that's not enough, to be honest. And then taking less health damage from Extremis and Terminus. While there are a lot more Extremis damage, this is 20% less health damage. I would rather it be just straight up less damage overall from those types, and maybe include Majoris as well, because otherwise this is just much better. So now we're going to get into the banners. So obviously the gear perks here, everyone knows this one. Invigorating Icon, when the banner is activated, all squad members regain maximum contested health. Now, something that I want to talk about a little bit with this is they talked about this in patch 6.2, and they said that this has basically introduced this as an automatic take, and that wasn't intended, and they didn't want the Bulwark to be basically a heal bot. That it was affecting, significantly, drastically affecting the way players were using the banner, and that wasn't what they intended for the class. So they also admitted that any nerfs to it now or big changes to it now will just cause, negativity in the community. To be honest, I think that it does need to change because, we want more playstyles than just, here, hand me a banner so I can heal, right? So they did nerf it in 6.2. It was originally going to be 100% slower, but they sort of lessened it to 50% slower, which honestly is huge. Unless you're getting cooldown buffs from like a sniper or a vanguard, I'm probably not going to run this at all anymore, to be honest. The triple banner is much more fun anyway. I'm using my banner a lot more often. And this cooldown is going to be like 2 minutes and 37 seconds. That's a long time to not have a banner. So let's get into the perks that we are going to be taking. We're going to be starting with Purity of Purpose. It deals damage over time to enemies within its area of effect. Now, this didn't used to be worth even considering because the damage was pitiful. They have also now in patch 6.0 made this scale with difficulty. I've tested this, and it will take a fresh Majoris from full health to about 1/3. You can gauge their health by using the lock-on, and the little triangles will tell you, and there's only 3 pips. So it got them down to the 3rd pip before the banner expired. So that's a healthy amount of damage. It's going to shred Minoris, and it's just going to be another source of AoE damage for you. So I really like it. The other 2 options here, this one I used to run a lot, Focus Strength, and it is still nice to be able to knock back enemies. But to be honest, I would, for this build and what I'm focusing on here, which is maximum AoE effects, Purity of Purpose is going to be the way to go. They did buff this one, so it's not 5 seconds now, it's 10 seconds. But I would rather have 20 seconds of banner, and to be perfectly honest with this build, the banner still restores my armor fast enough, so Purity of Purpose is my choice here. In the middle here, we're going with Glory's Shield. All squad members within the banner's area of effect take 20%. It says less ranged damage. They didn't update the tooltip. And banner lasts 20% longer. They updated this in patch 6.2 to be all damage, not just ranged damage. So that's kind of why I'm going with this. I've tested this as well in the Shield Bash, all Shield Bash build. The damage is absolutely negligible for this. So this is a really good take. not only are you gaining armor, but you're taking less damage on top of it. It allows you to be really aggressive while you're standing in the banner. And then the last one here is going to be Inspiration. All squad members within the banner's area of effect deal 20% more damage. Now, this is not 20% more melee damage, this is 20% more damage. So you're heavy and you're tactical and your sniper, you could plant the banner and go run off to fight something and let them just be dealing 20% more damage if you wanted to. Honestly, I prefer to plant my banner in the middle of a fight just because of these other perks for me. Really good bonus there. You just have to be mindful of staying in your banner's zone. And as you can see here, this is the radius of the banner. I sort of tested this to make sure I went all the way out until the icon was just still there. If I took one more step out, the icon would disappear on this image here. So you can get an idea on how big the radius is. It's not huge. I would like to see them buff the radius a little bit, but you know, as long as you're cognizant of it and keep that in mind to try to stay near the banner. Keep an eye on your icons. That will tell you these two icons right here will be up here in the upper left of your screen under your health bar. You can pretty easily stay within your banner to do what you need to do. And then lastly, we have our signature perk. Now, you would think that this one, emergency countermeasure, when your armor is fully depleted, reserve shock grenade automatically detonates at your position. Cooldown is 90 seconds. Now, they reduced this from 120 seconds to 90 seconds, so that's nice. This is still a good perk, and it synergizes very well with this. So it would be more AoE damage, and honestly, I would consider this, except for one thing. This perk right here has significant passive play. So if you have armor remaining, you do not lose control upon taking heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back. So as you can see here in this video, these snipers are shooting me, and I'm just continuing to run towards them. Had I not been have this perk on, I'd block the damage, but it would stagger me, and that can kill your momentum. It opens you up to being shot by something else or attacked by something else. So Armored Advance allows you to really be this literal invincible thing to ranged damage as you charge into the enemy, and can basically not care about what they're shooting at you. Those snipers are not going to bother you with their heavy hits as you charge into them and close the gap. So that's the perk build, guys. It's a lot of fun to play. There is it absolutely with these three perks here and your shock auras and your parry AoEs, it will absolutely tear up mobs of enemies. And you get your banner back faster than you do with Icon, and you get more buffs with your banner. So instead of it just being for heals only, in case of emergency, you're going to be using your banner constantly. You just got to be making sure that you are cognizant of its aura and how big that aura is, and you'll get used to it. This build is a ton of fun, and it does so much damage. It's a lot of really good, enjoyable build, and I'm glad we now are not really crutching on Invigorating Icon anymore, to be perfectly honest. So let's take a look at what weapons I'm using for this build. So of course I'm going to go with the Power Sword. So you can use the Power Fist or the Chain Sword if you want to, but the Power Sword is only available on the Bulwark, and I think it synergizes really well with him. It has one of the best movesets in the game. It does take some skill to master it because it has some hidden abilities that you have to really know that they exist in order to do that. And I'll probably do a full video on it as well. For my pistols, I'll go over them pretty quickly here. So we're going to build the pistol for charge shots, basically. Charge time, how much energy it uses. This is a big one right here. Charge shots from this plasma weapon use 2 less energy. This is going to get you, I think, about 18 charge shots, which is mostly what you're going to be shooting with this per full magazine. My loadouts, I have power sword on all of them because I prefer the power sword. And then I just change the pistol. You're going to use the bolt pistol mostly when you have a sniper where headshot damage or headshot kills will refresh your banner, right? Reduce your cooldown, because it's a lot easier to get headshot kills with the bolt pistol. You can't really get them with the plasma or the Neovolkite. And then lastly, the Neovolkite pistol. Having this extra mastery point really helps this gun because I really wanted this perk, but I wanted to be on the bottom tree. And now that we have the extra mastery perk, getting this perk here at the end really helps. The Neovolkite has really come into its own. I really like this as a pistol. In fact, I run this pistol when I'm doing solo runs because it's really good against terminus enemies and large, extremis enemies like the zoanthropes, and it's good against ranged Majoris. It tears up Rubric Marines. Depending on which team loadout I am, whether I'm playing solo or not, is going to determine which of my pistols I'm going to use. So that's the Bulwark triple banner build, the AoE build, whatever you want to call it. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Have you tried this out? How are you having success with it? Anything that I missed that would improve this build, or you tell me what you think. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. All those YouTube things help build the channel so I can bring more content like this to you guys. And don't forget to check out our Patreon. We have lots of cool benefits for our Patreon members. We also have YouTube memberships if you prefer to support us there. Lots of great benefits with our YouTube memberships as well. And we also have a Discord where we're talking about Black Templars every day, whether it is the Space Marine game or whether it is the tabletop game. We've got it all on our Discord. So come check us out. And until next time, keep on crusading.